much in the bank. I got a lot I can say. Caught up with goddesses, hey. I hope you forgive my mistakes. Yeah, run around with the renegades. You should take a seat, save your energy. I try to heal the guys with a band-aid. In a time of need, you call your enemies. I landed in a visa and I need a visa. I ain't playing with you, this no mama me. I need a hottie toddy with a body, yeah. I just spit the knowledge, then I'm out of here. That's what they are when we come around. This is your time when we want it now.
Hello everyone, it's me, Orpheon, your infinite dragon sorcerer here, and the sin of wrath. Welcome to the Omni Nexus, and I want to wish all of you a truly terrifying happy Halloween. This is the month of sheer terror, tricks, and treats. But in the end, it is the month of darkness, hatred, and death. Not only filled with blood and darkness, it is filled with cosmic horror, showing you as your life in this world and this universe is just as irrelevant as a tiny grain of sand in the very vast desert of the Omniverse. And also, if any of you are terrified, you really won't like what happens next. It's a beautiful night outside. The moon is full. Children are in costume. Although, it's some people that really shouldn't be out at night, because you never know when you might end up burning in hell.
Seriously? Did you guys really think I was gonna show something horrifying and gory as heck just to try to jump scare you? I mean, seriously. I mean, why would I do that? Sure, maybe Halloween, but that voice, it was just for kicks. I just wanted to see how you guys were gonna react. And man, it was worth it. It was worth seeing the expressions on your faces. Am I right, dude?
Got him! Got him! Oh my dude, you just got pranked. Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh?
Okay, you guys. Now, I'm sorry. I just had to. I mean, seriously. It's Halloween, for crying out loud. Who wouldn't try to do something like that? Alright, let's get back to the video. How it's supposed to start out. Because that was just my little Halloween prank. It was like some sort of my own typical, jump scare. Hello everyone, it's me, Orpheon, your infinite dragon sorcerer here, and the sin of wrath. Today, I'm going to be making a what if Deku from My Hero Academia had Hoopa's abilities from Pokemon. For those of you who don't know who Hoopa is and what this mythical Pokemon can do, I'll leave a links to the videos that I got my information from, my sources, and they're from YouTubers who really do enjoy Pokemon just like me. They do a lot of explanations involving Pokemon, such as their abilities and what a type of moves that they can do and add more detail to them. And there's also the fact that there are also other PokeTubers that do this sort of thing. I'm leaving a link to all those channels and said videos that made and gave me the sources and information that I know about so far about this mythical Pokemon and its abilities and what it can do. So if any of you are Pokemon fans, then that's good. And if you enjoyed this what if, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, and if you already are subscribed to my channel or all of the Sins YouTube channels, then that's good. And I also am working on remaking all of my old what ifs, basically, so that way they're better and more interesting for all of you to enjoy them. So that way I can make better content for all of you to enjoy. And there's also the other thing. If all of you haven't heard of us, the Sins, I'm Wrath, the Wrath Sin, of course. And there's also Kid Zeus, who's Pride, Comic Sans, the Man, who's Greed, and the rest of us are what if YouTubers. So if you all enjoy what ifs on YouTube and love listening to the stories and situations on what would happen if a certain character like Deku having either, you know, any superpower, or Asta, or any other what ifs involving Naruto or Goku or any anime or show, then please subscribe to us, the Sins, and the links to all of our YouTube channels are in the description box below. There's also something else I gotta tell you all. I am proud to announce that my YouTube channel has reached 802 subscribers now, and if any of you subscribers of the Sins YouTube channel want to subscribe to my channel, then go ahead. If you like what if videos, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Alright, now that I'm done talking, let's get this new what if that I made for the first time on the Sins YouTube channel, because I haven't had time to make what if videos for the Sins YouTube channel. I mean, this is the first video that's gonna be on the Sins YouTube channel that I actually made. So, you know, like I said, link to my channel and the other Sins channels is in the description below. Let's get this what if started. Deku is born, and the doctors are somewhat surprised about how Izuku Midoriya looks as an infant, and it looks like his quirk finally manifested the moment he was born. He actually has black tipped horns from each side of his head, and he actually has a tail that kind of looks like it has a spade or spear shape or arrow shaped at the tip, and it's a little bit grayish, but at the very top of it, from down to his body, it's gray but a hint of red maroonish. So Deku, his quirk basically looks like a mutation type of quirk, that it affects his appearance to make him look like a little demon, but it's actually due to his quirk, making his body necessarily have to evolve. A couple of years pass, and Deku is in preschool, and Bakugo actually finally manifests his quirk, but he's actually trying to beat up this kid, but Deku was getting in the way of Bakugo and his lackeys, who are beating up this kid using their quirks. Deku tells Bakugo to please stop, he's hurting him, but Bakugo smirks and says, "Oh come on Deku, why are you gonna try to protect this weakling? His quirk isn't even worth becoming a hero. I doubt he could ever become a hero at all. Especially you, Deku, just looking like a little demon all the time." And Deku, he's somewhat terrified, and he's trying to protect this kid from being beaten up by Bakugo and his lackeys. But when Bakugo uses one of his explosions, Deku actually gets scared to the point a portal opens underneath him and this kid, and somehow they're teleported away from the playground, and it looked like a golden ring appeared underneath the very ground they were both standing on, and Bakugo was surprised and, wait, what? How is this Deku? He finally manifested a quirk. Looks like a teleportation type of quirk. Whatever, I doubt his quirk will ever be any stronger than mine. So after that little fight with Bakugo, a couple of years pass, and Deku, they're in the last day of middle school, and their teacher walks in holding a bunch of papers, and he says to them and all the other students in the classroom, "Alright, since it's the last day of middle school, it's about time you'll start thinking about your future and what you plan on doing with your lives." But just like in canon, he just tosses all those papers up in the air and he says, "Oh, who am I kidding? I already know you all want to go for the hero track, and you all have some pretty interesting quirks." Everyone is excited and they start showing off their quirks, and then Bakugo says, "Come on, Teach, don't let me in with these losers. We all know I'm the best, and I have the more powerful quirk here." And everyone, as usual, glares at Bakugo, and a couple of them say, "What, you think you're better than us, Bakugo?" Bakugo smirking at them, saying, "Oh what, you guys want to fight? I'll take you all on." And the teacher looks at Bakugo's scores on all the mock tests, and he says, you pretty much are very good with your grades in the mock tests. And Bakugo says, there's only one school worthy of me. It's going to be UA. And everyone is just shocked from hearing Bakugo's words. One of them even says, UA? That school has I don't know the percent of the entrance rate of anyone who tries to get into UA, but it's just like it is in canon. Then the teacher notices that someone else is trying to apply for UA, and it's Deku. Bakugo, oh well, there's another student in this school who wants to apply for UA. Izuku Midoriya, you have pretty decent scores too. And Bakugo is just angry. He wants to explode Deku's desk, and he charges and does so. A ring opens underneath where he's sitting, and him and his desk get teleported on the other side of the room, close to the door, and Bakugo says, Deku? Deku is just smiling and smirking, saying, what'd you expect, Bakugo? I really want to become a hero. I've been like this ever since we were kids. And Bakugo says, you! Back down now! I'm the only one who's supposed to go to UA. I'm the only one with the best score, not you, little devil. Deku, in this what if, he also can levitate above the ground. That's sort of like a thing he does. He levitates above the ground just like Hoopa does. So yeah, he's just levitating above the ground, laughing at Bakugo and smirking at him, saying that he's going to become a hero and he can't stop him. Bakugo is about to try to attack Deku again, but of course the teacher tells him to not use their quirks in class. Deku teleports the desk back to where it was before, and he floats back over to his desk and sits down. Then the class is over for middle school and everyone heads home, and Deku and Bakugo are still going to have their little conversation, but it's going to be different than it is in canon. Deku is confident. He's a little bit of a mischievous trickster, and he likes to play a little bit of jokes on people occasionally, but not too much, because he wants to be a hero. Later on that day, Deku he's not going to encounter the sludge villain. Teleportation, it doesn't matter how far the distance is. We can safely say that there is no range. It's infinite. As long as he can picture where he wants to go, even the entire world, or even an alternate universe, he can do that. But he's not going to learn the whole alternate universe situation later on. He's going to only learn it till later on in this series. And if you guys like that idea, let me know down in the comments of this video. Back to the what if. Deku teleports home, and he actually hugs his mom, and she's actually in her prime. She doesn't gain weight like she does in canon, so she's gonna look exactly the same as when she brought Izuku to the quirk doctor to see what his quirk was, like in the anime and manga. So she's gonna be in her prime and physically fit. So let's move on. Deku is hugging his mom, and he's saying, Mom, I'm gonna do my very best to become a hero, well, no matter what, and someday I'll make you proud. Okay, Mom? And Izuku's mother's smiling and hugging her son. She says, you always are super energetic as always. And Deku, he begins his training to see what he can do with his quirk. And if you're all probably wondering, when is Deku gonna try to summon legendary Pokemon or mythical Pokemon? It's not gonna be for a while. He's not gonna be able to do that yet, because that would just be too OP. He's gonna learn later on, when the situation calls for it. Deku, he's practicing his teleportation to see how he can fight with his teleportation ability, and he also trains his physical body without using his teleportation rings. And these rings only appear out of thin air, so they're not on his body, or they're not on his horns, or anything like that. So the rings just appear out of thin air to make it more convenient. So anyone can touch these rings, but anyone can go through these rings that Deku creates. So he wants to prove everyone that even with the teleportation quirk, he can become the best hero in the world, possibly. And Deku's still humble, and he doesn't want to do it for money or anything like that. He just wants to do it because he's inspired by All Might, his idol, the #1 hero. And then he goes back to Dagobah Beach for the next couple of days to train his physical body, also cleaning up all of Dagobah Beach from all the trash and metal and stuff that's just all over the place. But he later on sees Mirio training with All Might, and he's doing the same thing. He kind of wants to be nosy and watch the whole thing, so he opens up a ring close to where they are, hiding behind the trash, and he listens in on their entire conversation. All Might is praising Mirio because he thinks that he really is strong, and he's pretty much very capable of becoming the next #1 hero, the next symbol of peace. And Deku wants to listen more, but he knocks over some stuff and makes a noise, and then All Might debuffs into his Small Might form, and the truth got out, but Deku, he was just surprised. Wait, are you even All Might? And Mirio is like, okay, All Might, Mr. All Might, what do you want me to do? And All Might tells Mirio to not worry, he'll talk to Deku. And All Might explains that the reason he's in this Small Might form is because he's injured. It was due to the recent battle that messed up his upper respiratory system, so he can't stay in his maximum form all too much because he's badly hurt because of that fight. And he was looking and training Mirio to become the next symbol of peace, the next #1 hero. But Deku, he is a little sad that All Might was hurt, but he doesn't let it bother him. He tells All Might that maybe he could also be his next successor. But not like, he doesn't want one for all. He just wants to train with All Might because he knows that All Might is in a very dire situation. And if other people found out about this weakness that All Might has, his injury, and his powers being diminished quicker and sooner than they should, or ever, the villains would take advantage of this situation and probably attack anyone he cares about, or anyone in the entire world would be in absolute panic because the villains would know and abuse that piece of information. So that's why it's kept under wraps. And Deku is training with All Might and Mirio. So let me know if you guys want Deku to have one for all, or should it just go to Mirio? Because Deku, he's still the same as he is in canon, but the only difference is his appearance, and he has a quirk, and a very versatile one at that. So let me know down in the comments or on the poll I'll show in this video. Should Deku get one for all? A simple yes or no question. Now back to the what if. Deku is continuing his 3 months of training with Mirio and All Might. And Deku is getting a lot stronger. And he even spars with Mirio every time he wants to train. And Mirio actually likes Deku. Despite his appearance, it doesn't bother him. He's actually impressed with his quirk, being able to teleport using rings that appear out of nowhere. And also, guys, if you're wondering what Deku's hero name should be, it should be, well, let me know down in the comments what you want Deku's hero name to be, or what you guys want to name his quirk. I'll let you be the ones to decide what Deku's hero name and quirk name should be. So please let me know down in the comments of this video. Deku and Mirio are training with All Might, and it's almost time for the UA entrance exam. And Deku, he decides not to inherit one for all, because he wants to become the #1 hero by his own power, and using it to the fullest. And so he lets Mirio inherit one for all, and All Might is actually very impressed with Deku's progress, and he's gotten a lot physically stronger, so he doesn't need to rely too much on his levitation ability and his rings to teleport randomly all over the place, like he usually does. And Deku was also studying with Mirio for the written part of the exam, so he's gonna get a higher score than Bakugo, because he was, you know, studying with a senior, higher ranking student like Mirio. But he did learn from Mirio's mistakes, because like in canon, because Mirio basically gets a C average most of the time, so he learns from his mistakes and figures out what he needs to improve on whenever he's studying with Mirio. Now, it's time for the UA entrance exam. Deku is confident, and he's floating over to the UA building where the testing center is for the written exam. And instead of meeting Uraraka like he does in canon, he's actually just not going to meet her like he does in canon. He actually sees Bakugo, and he tries to sneak up on Bakugo by teleporting in front of him using his ring. And then he says, "Boo!" And Bakugo's like, "Gah! Seriously, you damn nerd. What the hell? What was that for?" Deku's laughing while he's inside his own ring, saying, "I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself. You make it so dang easy. Plus, I doubt you could ever become a pro hero with that attitude." So, yeah, Deku and Bakugo's relationship in this What If series is kind of going to be like someone who likes to play jokes and someone who's always angry all the time. Basically a Spider-Man and Wolverine type of relationship, because every time Wolverine shows up in where Spider-Man is, and wherever they're on a mission together or teaming up for a greater good, fighting against a villain, or trying to save the world as usual, or stop crime, their relationship is just like that. So I'm gonna make Bakugo and Deku's relationship kind of like Spider-Man and Wolverine's dynamic between each other. And now let's get to the scene where President Mike is explaining there are three main villains that you have to fight: 3-pointer robots, 2-pointer robots, and 1-pointer robots. But Ida, as usual, thinks that there is something wrong. There's a fourth silhouette showing a giant robot, and he's wondering if this was a mistake. I am greatly disappointed. But President Mike is saying, well, yeah, that's the main obstacle that you might need to face. You should probably ignore it or focus on the other three, because that one's not worth any points. And of course, Deku's laughing a little bit, so Ida's pointing out that he's disturbing the lecture, and Deku says, "Well, you are too, you Four Eyes," and he's laughing, and Ida's like, What did you just call me? Are you sure you're in the right place? Take this seriously. We're all here to try to enter UA." And President Mike is telling those two to calm down and not argue, and the written test is about to begin. After the written test, Deku is in a separate arena, just like with Ida and Uraraka, but Bakugo's in a different arena, like in canon. Then President Mike says, "Go! There are no more countdowns in a real battle. There are no countdowns in a real battle. Sorry, I can't talk today. I'm just, I just woke up and I'm a little nervous, so sorry about that. If I stutter too much, I'm sorry about that. This is my first video I'm making for the Sins YouTube channel, and I'm really trying to make sure I go with the script that I wrote. So yeah, Deku is actually teleporting using his rings, and yeah, I said rings. He only has 3 or 2 rings so far. He uses 2 rings to teleport in front of one of the 3-pointer robots. Then he tries to use his ring to not only go above the 3-pointer robots, but underneath, so they gather momentum by teleporting up and down constantly using a certain speed, and the momentum allows him to make his second ring appear over a building, making the robot crash into it. So yeah, it's pretty effective, but he can't use that same technique over and over because that would be too cliche. And Deku also used his levitating ability to try to help out some people with some of the robots that they were fighting. And he gains a bit of rescue points, and there's also the fact that even when some of the examinees are in a tough spot, he's going to teleport a ring under them to get them out of the situation if they're cornered or in a tight spot. So he then tells, "Hey, don't get so down. You'll do great. I know you will." And he's sort of like a motivational dude, a little bit. But he still has that prankster personality because, you know, he has a Hoopa-ish personality mixed in with his own canon version of Izuku Midoriya's personality. But then, while Deku and everyone else are destroying robots, gaining more points, then the 0-pointer robot appears, and it's about to destroy or crush Uraraka. Everyone's running away, and he hears a girl screaming, and it's Uraraka. He then teleports underneath the robot's foot and teleports the rubble out off of Uraraka, and then takes her using his rings. Then he teleports away, and he's kind of making sure that Uraraka doesn't get hurt. So he's carrying her bridal style, so that way they can get away faster. Then Deku has an idea. He tries to use his ring to open up to a very large part of a building on the top of it. He tries to teleport that entire building over the 0-pointer robot, but it doesn't work because he's not strong enough. He's never tried to do something like that before. So he just teleports away with Uraraka in tow. And then President Mike announces that the test is over, and everyone head home, and anyone who's injured go to Recovery Girl. Uraraka's carried away by the robots that are assisting Recovery Girl to help anyone who's injured, and Deku's exhausted, so he teleports away right before Uraraka could properly thank him. A couple of days pass, and then Deku receives his UA entrance letter, and Deku and his mother are sitting down on the couch watching to see if Deku got in. And just like in canon, All Might appeared in a holographic projection, explaining to Deku that he did very well, and he got the highest written points of the written exam, and he got the most rescue points out of everyone by, I guess, 200 or 150 rescue points, and also some villain points for destroying a couple of 3-pointer robots over and over and helping people out, rescuing them from some of the robots that were actually about to hurt them. So All Might says, "Welcome to My Hero Academia," and Deku and his mother are excited. They're so happy that Deku got in, and Deku is about to go back to Dagobah Beach to actually work out some of this excitement that he can barely sleep, so he teleported outside to Dagobah Beach to try to see if there's any other trash left over, but oddly enough, there isn't, and Mirio meets up with Deku at Dagobah Beach, and they actually give each other a fist bump, and Mirio's smiling, saying, "Great work, Urkizuku! You did very well. I'm glad you got into UA. I hope I get to see you soon at UA Academy." And Deku's smiling, saying, "Yeah, I'm really hoping I get to see you too, Mirio. I hope we have the same class." But Miro says, well, you do realize I'm your upperclassman, right? So, we're probably not going to have the same class. But I will probably come by and visit your classroom whenever I'm not busy. Deku's smiling, saying, yeah, that would be pretty cool. And you probably would like to meet all my new friends in my classroom, huh? Miro says, sure thing, that'll be great. And then the next day comes with Deku teleporting in front of the UA building, and he tries to figure out where Class 1A is. And of course, he finds it using his rings, and then he opens the door. But actually, he doesn't need to open the door, he just goes inside the classroom using his rings, and he's sticking out of his ring, and he sees Ida and Bakugo still having their argument like he can, because Ida is furious and disappointed that Bakugo is scuffing school property by putting his feet on the desk. And of course, Bakugo says, ugh, are you kidding me? Were you always born in a tight wad, or were you just made that way? And Ida then replies saying, look, let me start over. My name is Tenya Ida, and he's from a different opposing school. And Bakugo says, oh really? You think you're better than me? I'll have fun tearing you a new one. And Ida says, what? You're threatening me? Are you sure you're in the right place? Then Deku says, hello! Long time no see, Four Eyes. And Ida still walks up to Deku while he's still in his ring, and Deku levitates. Crap, I can't talk today. Levitates out of his ring, and he tries to give Ida a handshake, and Ida, of course, is praising him for noticing there are hidden criteria. But Ruka then opens the door, and she sees Deku, and she says, I recognize that a demon look anywhere. It's you, Deku, right? And Deku says, no, it's Izuku Midoriya, but you can call me Deku if you want. Either way, it's fine by me. And the whole conversation, like in canon, happens with Shota Aizawa appearing in a yellow sleeping bag, and then he says, if you're here to make friends, then you should leave. Everyone is shocked seeing a really tired old man who looks like he hasn't slept in a long time. And it's none other than Mr. Aizawa, also known as Eraserhead. He also explains that he is going to be their teacher for their class. And everyone's like, okay, but Mr. Aizawa then starts to explaining everyone that they're going to do a quirk assessment test, and it's to see where they're at and where they need to improve. And he also says, if any of you become last in this quirk assessment test, will be expelled. Everyone's like, wait, you can't just expel everyone on the first day? Aizawa then replies, saying, yes I can. And here in UA, any of us teachers in each and every class can run our class however we see fit. Same goes for me. And if any of you are late to the field, you'll be expelled on the spot. Now hurry up and change into your gym clothes. Everyone is just terrified, and they're hurrying to the field to show how far they can manage to get in this quirk assessment test. Everyone is at the field, and Deku is the one who has to do the ball throw. And Aizawa asks Izuku Midoriya, what's your farthest throw in the ball throw without using your quirk? Not that far actually. Now try it using your quirk. Deku says, oh boy, here it comes! Let's do this! And yeah, Deku is excited, and he really gets to show off his quirk. He then says, a la Hoopa ring! He makes a ring appear out of thin air, and he throws the ball, and he makes another second ring appear in space. The ball registers infinity, and everyone's like, no way! Infinity? How can we top that? And Mina Oshido says, wow, he's pretty cool. His quirk is pretty useful, and we get to use our quirks as much as possible. Guess it's time for all of us to get serious. Now, okay, everyone, I'm just gonna skip past the rest of this whole thing involving the quirk assessment test, because I know Deku would easily win the whole race part of the exam because, you know, he can teleport on the other side of the ring, and he can also levitate, so he's infinite on the whole jumping part of the exam. So yeah, I'm just gonna basically leave it like that. So the quirk assessment test is pretty much taken care of, with Deku being first in all of them except for the grip test, because Shoji, the one with the duplo arms quirk, is stronger, but Mineta, he is actually not gonna get expelled. In fact, no one is gonna get expelled in this what if, which is pointed out by Mr. Aizawa. He explains to everyone that that was obviously a logical deception, so everyone would do their very best. Even though Mineta came last in everything else, except for the side-to-side step, he became second in that one. Mr. Aizawa explains to Mineta that he needs to train extra hard for him to get better in this class. Then the day ends in the next day, and All Might explains to everyone that today we're going to do hero versus villain simulation training. But he explains to everyone that you need to suit up. He then presses a button revealing shelves on the walls which open, and they reveal suitcases with numbers on them, and it's everyone's hero suits. Everyone goes into the locker room and puts on their hero suits, and yeah, that's gonna play out like it does in canon. But Deku's hero suit is gonna be very, very different than it is in canon. And guys, that's where I'm gonna leave it off this time. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to us, the Sins. Also, if you guys like YouTube videos, please support us, all of the Sins, me included, Wrath. And I'm sorry for the joke I had to play on you guys. I really wanted to do that. It's funny and I enjoyed it. And it's my first video on the Sins channel. Oh, and also, real quick, I want to say, as always, Infinity Overdrive! Infinite realities, infinite possibilities. This is your Infinite Dragon Sorcerer, the Sin of Wrath. See you all next time. And also, real quick, just one more thing before I end this video.
Happy Halloween, mortals, and please do try to live your lives to the fullest, because you'll never know when your lives will meet a very gruesome, tragic end. And as always, hope I don't end up seeing you in the very depths of the underworld. Enjoy your Halloween and tricks and treats. At least, for now.